Hi, I'm Lara. Welcome back to the sewing room, and I want to talk to you today about something that's very near and dear to my heart, which is my sewing book collection. There was a little interest expressed in my last video. People wanted kind of a close-up, and fortunately I'm also just in the middle of rearranging everything in here, so here goes. Alright, so while I can't match the chaos of just general chaos of everybody, we are rearranging some furniture in the house, and that means that I switched out my bookshelf, which means all my books have now jumped, and everything else I had on that bookshelf has jumped into the rest of my sewing area. I'll show you what it looks like. Oh, it's bad. Okay, so but new bookshelf, fantastic. And books. I like books. I have a lot of books. And it's easy to forget that when they're neatly on the shelf. So, alright, I'm gonna work on this. I had the radio on while I was doing this because that is kind of a good way to keep me motivated, is to have the radio on. So just pretend you can hear me shelving the books even though you can't. And I am going to speed this up right about now so that you don't have to see how long this took me. You'll see me noticing right about, let's see, now that my top and my middle shelves are actually not the best distance apart, because I have so many books that are about 11 inches tall, and that was just a little too short. So I went and got my screwdriver to change that, because this bookshelf needs a screwdriver to change the height between the shelves. On top of having a lot of books, I have a lot of ephemera, including modern postcards and things from the places I like to shop, like Wawak, which I just flashed at you very quickly. And just, yeah, continuing to shelve. Alright, so a lot more organized, still not quite done. I will pan. Ooh. Ooh. What's even more fun is actually this weekend I'm going to pick up a proper pattern filing cabinet, and yeah, that's going to free up even more space around here and make things even neater, and hopefully not, I'm not going to say not encourage me to buy more patterns, because we all know that I will. But that's the next step for this room. After, well, I'm going to clean up a little bit more too first, but here is the room as it currently stands. I love the little area I've been able to make for my mirror. I'm always kind of moving my mirror around because it's in the way, and now it won't be. Still more to do, but a lot better. So on the top shelf here I have books that I basically can stand up, that I expect to stay standing up without being damaged, and also a little pile of Singer books there on the right. Here's kind of a close-up of the first half of shelf number 1, the top shelf. And here's the other half, and those are, the boxes are, there's kind of an old series of transfers and patterns from 1976, and then the blue box is my small light table. And this isn't an editorial comment. I'm not saying top shelf, middle shelf, bottom shelf. It's just a question of how the books physically fit in the shelf. Here's the middle shelf. You will notice I have more than one copy of Bishop Method of Clothing Construction and some other Bishop books. I actually love multiple versions of these books because they are all slightly different from each other. I think some of them were used in a school environment, so basically have it handmade index glued to the inside of them, and I absolutely love these books. I actually read them a lot. So let me know if you, in the comments below, if you want to see more detail about those books. Are not necessarily well known now. Right half of the middle shelf. Spiral bound books are kind of tough. Thankfully I have a very visual memory, so I can usually remember what they are, but if I just can't find a book and it's making me nuts, the first thing I do is pull out everything that's spiral bound. Because sometimes it's that. And here is the bottom shelf. I hope you can see I have tried to keep some general categories relatively close to each other. On the left here you see a lot of books by CPI, which is a company I used to work for, so sometimes it's easier for me to remember where they are if I keep them all together. And here's the end of that shelf. In the drawer here, there probably will be something else as I finish organizing this room, but today we have Patterns of Fashion. I have 4 of the Patterns of Fashion volumes. Thank you very much, Lisa. And now they are safe and sound and tucked away where they will be easy for me to find and dust-free, hopefully.